all the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas. And as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together this Christmas. The fireside is blazing bright, we're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Presents and cards are here, my world is filled with cheer and you this Christmas. And as I look around, your eyes outshine the town they do this Christmas. The fireside is blazing bright, we're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me, yeah. Shake a hand now. Bright, we're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me, yeah. Hang all the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas. And as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together this Christmas. The fireside is blazing bright, we're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Merry Christmas. Shake a hand now. Here's your brother, Merry Christmas. All over the land now.
Hi.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first TNE Join the Movement Livestream.
Hello.
I'm
I hit the
Melinda
wrong
Hale,
button.
the executive director.
And I'm Tim Whitaker, the
Apologize
founder.
for the late start. We had some, and are still having some technical difficulties, but we're going to push through. I'm Melinda Hale, the executive director of TNE, and I'm joined by my co-host, the founder and creative director of TNE, Tim Whitaker.
Hello. It's good to see you, Melinda. We did it. We're here. We're doing it.
We made it.
So, where would you like to begin? Because we have a packed show for this event that we've been putting so much work into. I think the first thing I want to do, if you're cool with it, is show a video just about who we are to all the new people who maybe are watching for the first time.
Let's do it. Let's show them who we are.
Check it out.
The New Evangelicals started out as an Instagram post, and 5 years later, it's turned into a nonprofit organization committed to creating a better path forward.
We have educational content, digital media, and a really inclusive online community space. And we're really trying to help people reclaim and hold on to their faith without sacrificing any of their values.
I was looking for people who were sharing stories and being authentic as they worked through their faith in this current context.
In a world that continues to use Christ as a weapon against the marginalized, the New Evangelicals creates a space where all are welcomed and loved as and because of who they are. There's nothing more Christ-like than that.
I think the time we're in really allows TNE to show up in a way we haven't really seen before. And being an organization that talks about the intersection of faith, politics, and culture, we're really trying to build a justice-centered movement.
We really had to ask, what if faith could be different? What if it wasn't about fear and control and shame, but was truly about love, justice, and compassion? And our mission is really simple. We want to empower people to reject Christian nationalism, advocate for their neighbors, and stay rooted in the things that Jesus taught.
I love that TNE celebrates curiosity.
Man, the gospel is needed now more than ever. The New Evangelicals is doing the work of spreading that gospel. And I'm so proud to be a part of the New Evangelicals doing this work.
We envision a world where Christianity isn't used as a tool for power and exclusion, but it's reclaimed as a force for good, for empathy and collective liberation and inclusivity.
Thousands of people have found us, whether it's on our Instagram or YouTube or podcast, and they've had their journey and their feelings validated. And honestly, I'm really proud of that. We're really proud of that.
This is TNE, and we're just getting started.
We are just getting started. And tonight, we're getting started. This is not just a fundraiser. This is a celebration of 5 years of TNE and a thank you to you, our community. For 5 years, this community has shown up asking better questions, telling the truth, refusing to let faith be weaponized. You have shown up consistently supporting our media, our content, being in community with us, utilizing our resources. And we're inviting you to help us take the next step for TNE. And we are aiming to raise $30,000 tonight in order to help fund the next era of TNE. And throughout the night, you will have multiple opportunities to give, and we'll be joined by some special guests. There'll be musical performances, conversations between me and Tim, laughs, and a whole lot more.
And it's really easy to donate. I actually put it on the screen so everyone can see. It's the newevangelicals.com/support. You can use Apple Pay. It's really easy. All donations, of course, go to making this work possible. And a massive shout out to our donors. I also have a little counter on the screen here so we can see in real time donations that are coming in. So I'm super pumped. And thank you so much for donating, friends.
So now let's get to our first guest, Tim, who's joining us.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so our first guest is someone who I've known for years. They are someone who embodies what it looks like to wrestle honestly with faith and still choose hope. They are the founder of the Black Modern Mystic, a theo-activist, a speaker, pastor, and a scholar practitioner based in Richmond, Virginia, with 2 master's degrees in theology and leadership and a doctorate in social transformation. Wow. Their work merges spiritual practice, cultural critique, and liberative theology, and they're also the author of Faith Unleavened, a manifesto for those reimagining the sacred on their own terms. Let's welcome in to me, Spencer Helms. This is the first time I'm trying this. Hopefully it works. Here we go. So, okay. Yes. I got Timmy's coming in right here. Kaboom! There we go.
Yo, what's good, y'all?
Okay, hey, we're doing it. Good to see you.
Good evening. Y'all was jamming in the weight room now.
We had to play a little Donny Hathaway, and then Tim had to throw in his epic Carol of the Bells.
We needed a hype, some kind of hype moment of like, we're going in,
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. This is wonderful. Y'all done a great job, and that video was dope too. It's great.
Thank you. So, Tamise, tell us a little bit about your faith journey. I know we only have you for a few minutes, but I would love for just the audience to know a little bit about your faith journey and also what brought you to TNE.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw a post that Tim did. I've been out here a little bit lonely out here, and I saw a post that Tim did right when TNE started. That spoke directly to some of the things I had kind of already worked out in the book, Faith Unleavened. But my story is that, I met white Jesus I met white Jesus in hell. That's a chapter in the book because I really did. I went to a play that was talking about hell. It scared the hell out of me. And I gave my life to Jesus at 17. And that's when I first encountered like white Jesus. And then when Trayvon Martin was murdered, everything shifted, everything collapsed. I just couldn't understand all the hypocrisy, and the cognitive dissonance was taking a toll. And then you had the election right after that. So you have this slew of like Black bodies and up to 2016. So all of these people telling me all lives and that their reasoning was righteousness. And then they voted for this. So it was just so confusing to me. But it also just gave me permission to go ahead and be honest about my process from that point out, like online, because I was noticing that more and more people were becoming disillusioned and might need somebody to model process for them. So that's pretty much what I do.
Man, I love that. Can you, one of the things that I've always struggled with, Tamise, and I talk a lot, I've had you on the podcast before, is just how do people who grew up in like what I call is the basement, right, of evangelical Christianity, like how do we move forward in healthy ways? And can you maybe talk about how your work plays into that? Because I love the path that you're carving and like the work that you're doing, because honestly, just speaking from the heart, it's shaped me in a lot of ways as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. Like, I think my work is really centering Black and queer liberation. And so one of the things I'll use an anecdote. I was at a conference in Boston with some pastors and elders from the mainline church. I won't name which one. And they were talking about how they had never read a book. All of them were elders in their denomination. They had seminary degrees. They were like, I never read Howard Thurman until this week before this trip. And that's unfortunate because I think that right now, even in progressive space, you're hardly saying anything helpful or articulate without quoting somebody Black. And so Black people in this country have been moving in an alternative intelligence since the founding of the country. And that's why there's so much joy and culture and soul, because they've already been situated against the logics that are starting to crumble for everybody. And I think my work is really sort of bringing some of those voices and some of those ideas to the public to say, hey, the people you weren't allowed to listen to, the people on the naughty list, they might give you some hope and something to work with as you figure out what you want to do next.
I love that. I really love that. What gives you hope right now?
Whoo, man, you can't kill life. There's a witness in the trees. There's a witness in the seasons. There's a witness in my skin cells. The witness is resurrection. It's just a fact. And that gives me hope that things that are death dealing don't stay. We have a witness of that in history. And I feel like, the truth is, the most radical truth is you can't kill life. So it makes me brave and it gives me hope to kind of resist these logics and not be afraid of what people might say about me and maybe ultimately what they might do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we have an announcement that we want to make. Tim, do you want to do the honors?
I would love to. Tamise is officially on the board of TNE. I love it. I'm so pumped. I'm such a huge, I cannot express to you how much of a fan I am of that reality. It's amazing. Yeah. So I'm so happy that you joined the board. I'm so pumped to hear and see how your wisdom influences the direction of the New Evangelicals. I'm just really pumped. It's really awesome stuff.
Yeah, yes, I'm excited. I think that we're all learning that white supremacy is the reason for all the shenanigans. And so as much as we can keep it out of the next thing, the better. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Tamise, for joining us. Being able to amplify voices like yours and others through educational courses in our Substack is so important, and it can only happen because of our donors. So again, thank you so much to all the people who are donating. It fuels the work that we're doing in 2026 and beyond. And Tamise, my friend, it's always good seeing you.
Yes.
Love you
Thank
both.
you,
Thank
Timmy's.
y'all.
Love you. Good
Let's
to
get
see
this
you.
30,000. Good night.
Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, everyone. Now, we couldn't have a telethon style live stream without some musical performances. Tim and I are both musicians. Music is a part of who we are. And so our next guest is kind of a duel between us. It's a New Jersey raised, LA based recording artist.
I love that.
Singer, songwriter, performer, and spiritual practitioner, and also a song leader. Their unique sound, which they call Hope Pop, has earned them 25 million streams across platforms with appearances at festivals like Lollapalooza, Governor's Ball, Bonnaroo, and they've toured nationally and internationally, most recently with acclaimed trans artist and activist Alok Vade Menon. Here is a performance from Whatever Mike.
Hi, my name is Whatever Mike. I'm a recording artist and musician and universal student of love. And I'm here because I believe the work that the New Evangelicals are doing is so important as we combat white nationalism and Christian nationalism. I believe that spirit lives inside all of us. Spirit is change, is transformation, and I make music that speaks to that transformation inside all of us. This is my song, Confess. Holy God, I am flawed, been a fraud, broken laws, I want to confess. I caused pain, made false claims, spoke your name in vain, and I want to be honest. And what's craziest of all is I ain't mean to hate or cause heartache, I was doing my best. But I was blind, lost the light, and only I can make that right. I want to confess. Who am I without shame? Felt stuck and so I blamed everyone I know for my pain. Guess that's all we were taught. Don't give no one a shot. Keep judging every thought, yeah. This culture's got us caught in the same shit, same fight, blocked from the same light. There's one crime, division, where vision goes to die. I'ma live, I'ma trust, I'ma learn, cause I must. On and on and on. When I breathe into me, I can see that I'm free. On and on and on. I have lied, I'm no saint. I will hurt and forgive. On and on and on. Cause to love is to grieve all the things we could be. On and on and on. Holy God, I am flawed, been a fraud, broken laws, I want to confess. Caused pain, made false claims, spoke your name in vain, and I want to be honest. And what's craziest of all is I ain't mean to hate or cause heartache, I was doing my best. But I was blind, lost the light, and only I can make that right. I want to confess. I want to confess. I want to confess. Oh, yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you, Mike, for lending your voice to tonight. Make sure you follow Whatever Mike and stream their music. I'm telling you, there are so many songs that I just feel so uplifted by. So thank you, and I promise you won't be disappointed. All right, what do we got next, Tim?
So I want to talk a little bit about our offerings. This is a really important piece of TNE. Now, for those of you who have been around for a bit, in the past 5 years, we've toggled back and forth between a lot of different offerings. There's no way around that. It's been a lot of fun. But if you ever wondered what your donations go to, I want to show you all this graphic here. And honestly, these are just a few of the things that we offer as an organization, right? We now have 3 podcasts. We have the New Evangelicals podcast, Tim and April's show, Advocacy Hour. We offer all kinds of educational resources, how to find a healthy church, Theology 101, educational starter packs, and we offer an amazing community space. TNE Connect is our version essentially of a healthy space that's away from Meta. It's its own platform entirely, where all of our educational resources go. We do lives there, we bring in top tier scholarship, we do book club, we do conversation circles, and so much more. So all of your donations tonight and throughout the end of the year all go to making this work possible and funding these resources so they're completely free to the community, which I think is just amazing.
Absolutely. And one of our newest offerings that's launching next year is our creator cohort. And we are so excited to announce here tonight for the very first time who is part of our inaugural class. So congrats to all of these creators. We had a great pool of applicants, and we are very excited to be working with these 5 creators for the next 6 months to help them build their voices and have them be a part of the TNE family. Now, again, as Tim said, all of your donations go to making these things possible, and all of your donations are tax deductible. And you're not just giving to an organization, you are funding and being a part of a movement, something that is justice-centered and rooted in Jesus. We want to be the positive alternative to all of the extremism that we are experiencing right now. So if you want to give and help us reach our goal, you can go to thenewevangelicals.com/support, or you can click the link in the chat box. Donate whatever you can. Truly, everyone watching, if you all donate $5, we would probably reach our goal very, very quickly. And we're streaming on multiple platforms, so I really am confident that we'll be able to reach our goal tonight. But whatever you can do, we are so grateful. So I think we've had a couple of donations come in. Should we read some of them off? Am I lying? Did I see? Am I wrong?
I'll look after our next guest. I'll take a look while we're
okay.
behind
All right,
the scenes.
Sounds good. All right. Well, in true fundraiser fashion, we've got another musical performance from a singer-songwriter also based here in Los Angeles. Their music explores themes of hope, heartache, reconciliation, and they'll be on tour this March in the Midwest. Here is Semler following a message from one of TNE's very own.
Hi, my name is Semler, and I'm a singer-songwriter, and I really value the work that New Evangelicals does because I think it's important to have representations of people inside and outside of faith and deconstruction. The song I'm going to play is a song that really changed my life because it was the first time I was open about my own process of deconstruction, so I want to share it with you. It's called Jesus from Texas.
My mom turned 18 in the 1960s and she doesn't remember Stonewall. To be fair, she can't know that being a kid at the bricks lunch that police would compel me to exist. And I think about that now down the ballot of the ones I love and I don't know yet. I voted for you. Oh, what a terrible honor it is to watch the sky fall as a character witness. I spent the rest of the night freaking out. I had to get high just to put myself down. But I woke up for you. And I cut my hair because I'm worth it. These days I believe in Bigfoot more than God. 'Cause who's he hurting? I grew up a preacher's kid cleaning up after communion, so I know that a church is not a way to live. It's a weekly reunion. My best friend found God, so we lost touch. Guess a savior beats a friend, thinks you're good enough. I hope she finds love and peace. And if her kid comes out, I hope that she calls me. Oh, what a terrible honor it's been to learn that my blessings are things you call sins. I'll spend the rest of my life tearing down the Jesus from Texas you put in a crown. But
tour in March. Bye.
Hi, I'm April LaJoy. I co-host the Tim and April Show, which is under the T&E umbrella. And I just want to say I'm so thankful for the New Evangelicals as an organization, because there's just so much tension and polarization in our country right now, especially when it comes to Christianity and what that looks like in a very MAGA Christian nationalist world. We need that alternative Christian voice that will stand up to Christian nationalism and bigotry and say, no, there's another way. There's another way to follow Jesus. And I think that's how we beat Christian nationalism, is using the teachings of Jesus and organizations like the New Evangelicals that shine light on why the Christianity of MAGA is the opposite of what Jesus meant. So if you can give to T&E, even something as small as $5 can go a long way, because I think the work that they do is so important.
It's good to see April.
That's always so nice. We have gotten some donations in. I'll put them in the chat. They pop up. Stephen from Illinois donated $200. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Wow, thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you.
Anyone who donates, of course, we can put it up here on the screen. You'll be recognized for it. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world. Now, because the New Evangelicals is a 501c3 organization, has a very active board of directors, people who lend their expertise in community, governance, fundraising, make sure that the organization is staying on track with their mission, etc. And this year, we expanded our board of directors in order to help T&E grow. We just announced Tamis as another example of that, and to grow and guide the direction of the organization as a whole.
And right now, we are joined by one of our board members who is also the head of our fundraising committee. She's also the operations director for the Be the Change Youth Initiative, which is a grassroots nonprofit organization based in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And she is deeply committed to empowering young people, advocating for mental health, and building community-driven initiatives that spark lasting change. She's going to come on and talk to you a little bit about our fundraising efforts, and also tell you about an exciting new initiative and partnership for T&E that you, as our community members, can get involved in. So let's welcome Deirdre Catlett.
Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Deirdre.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm good.
Of
I'm
course.
really great. I am really excited. I want to say thank you to everyone here at T&E for the community for showing up. I love looking at the names. I know some of these names from book club, which is really great. But also, I just want to say donating is so important to the mission, and it is so much more than just a financial contribution. You are truly investing in the faith and the growth of so many people. I have heard so many stories of people who said that they have come back to their faith because of T&E, and whether you are giving $5 or $500, you are truly investing in people, and it's incredible work that is transforming people's lives. So on behalf of everyone at T&E, I want to say thank you. And several people have talked about even giving $5. I just want to say this, even just on YouTube alone, there's a saying in the church circles for those of us who have worked in them that 10% of the people do 90% of the work. Well, if 10% of the people just on YouTube gave $5, 90% of this would be done. So that's just a really important reminder for us that those $5 in a community this size adds up really, really fast. I also want to just say why I'm a part of the New Evangelicals as far as the board and the partnership that Melinda just talked about. Be the Change Youth Initiative is a nonprofit that I work for. It was actually started by my oldest daughter when she was 15 years old, and it came from a traumatic church experience with a youth pastor who belittled her and embarrassed her in front of a huge group of kids because of her desire to create change in our community. Long story very short, we took Be the Change on the road 3 years later, and we were working with Make-A-Wish. And I do want to give a little bit of a trigger warning here because I will talk about mental health, but they had an event. They were musicians, my daughter and her brother Braden, and they were at a church in Austin, Texas, and they were asked if they could talk about mental health because they had had an attempted suicide in their youth group, and a middle school student. And my son shared his struggles with his mental health as well as my daughter. And after that performance, that student was in the audience and came up to my daughter and said, I wish I had known that other people struggled, because no one talks about it, especially in church. And that transformed our lives. It was an Ebenezer Stone moment, if you will. The next day, the youth pastor called us and said, I've been doing this for 20 years and I've never seen a response like this. Keep doing it. And so we stayed on the road for a year. And a lot of what our work is going into schools and talking to youth, but it has become a transformational process where we are empowering youth in their communities to become leaders, normalizing conversations around mental health, but using their gifts to transform their communities. And what I am excited to announce is a part of our partnership. My kids are also musicians. They perform under the name In the Company of Wolves, which you are about to see the story behind that. But in 2026, they are planning a house show tour. So whether it's to your church, to your community center, to your school, to raise awareness about the important work of T&E and working together to create opportunities for us to grow, to spread the work of what we're doing, to spread our community and T&E Connect, to create opportunities for youth. And I don't know, just to see the promise and the hope that could come from energizing young people for the power of good. Right now, there's a lot of focus on young people and indoctrination and ideology, especially where I live in Tennessee. What does it look like if we actually show light and love and Jesus in those places? So I'm really excited. I will introduce, these are my kids. I'm very proud of them, Sydney and Braden, in the Company of Wolves, and you'll get to hear a little bit of their story.
Here we go. Check it out.
Hey, my name is Sydney Garrett.
And my name is Braden Garrett, and we are in the Company of Wolves, and we are so excited to be partnering with the New Evangelicals in 2026.
This partnership exists because we believe that young people deserve to have conversations that help them think critically, care deeply, and also stay connected.
To themselves, to their communities, and also to something bigger than fear or ideology. What you're about to listen to is a sneak peek of our song, What Do We Wait For?, which is a part of an album that we will be releasing in 2026.
What Do We Wait For is not just a song of hope, but it's also a call to action. In that last section of the song, it is a reminder that we're in this fight together, and in order to create a positive change, we can't be in this alone. We know there's a better path forward, and we're excited to partner with T&E in order to create it together.
Rising on the nights when you question what is coming. Mighty high, emotion into something. Place your guns, you up into a weapon. Some might say your heart is but a weakness. Pay no mind to hatred and the malice. Hope is birth when encompassed in darkness. Place your worth in believing in your truth. The sun has come, the shadows fall around us. We have no choice, we get the final say. Mighty hearts, we're marching into something. Close enough to let them know we're coming.
The New Evangelicals started out as an instrument.
That was the wrong button on my end. So that's on me, everyone. I'm
No worries.
controlling all the screens
It wouldn't
here.
be a live show if there weren't some difficulties, which we were having before we even started. So don't even worry about it. We're here. We're
I'll
having
take
a great
the fault.
Okay, so Tim, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. You started T&E 5 years ago from an Instagram post. What did you originally want set out to do, and how has that been different from what you've accomplished?
Oh, I had no idea what was. I mean, I was scared. I actually almost didn't even launch the account. That's the true story. I consulted someone who's actually a pretty big influencer at the time in like the Christian meme space, and was like, hey man, I have this name, but I'm really scared because I was a volunteer drummer. I was never on staff at a church. I was never a pastor. I was a drummer in South Jersey, loved the church, but was really concerned. But I thought that the name was so audacious, honestly, like the new Evangelicals. But this person was like, look, dude, swing the bat. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least you tried.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, let's just see what happens. And and I mean this, like, I had no idea it was going to turn into all of this. I didn't have any idea I would meet you or the amazing, or Rebecca, the board, April, like the shows. So it's been like the ride of my life in all of the ways, the highs, the lows, the complicated parts, the easy parts, the fun parts, the hard parts. But it's been a journey, man. And I'm honored. It's a privilege of my life to do it.
Absolutely. What's one thing, well, I'll say two things. What's one thing you learned about yourself in this process, and one thing that you wish you knew before you started?
Oh, I mean, I'm a very honest person, so I'll be honest about this. One thing I learned about myself in this process is that I'm a dreamer, and I have just enough skill to kind of launch things, kind of. I'm kind of like, here's what I'm like.
It's adequate.
I am the pastor who can just about lead a hymn and knows enough chords to get the worship band in trouble on the stage. Those pastors who come up and are like, no, go here. And you're like, no, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. That's kind of me with like organizational building, where I'm getting through it, but it's like, it's messy. So I learned, over the years, like, I love to do this. I love content. I love talking. I love yapping. I love educational content. Organizational like structure, it was like not my jam, frankly. But I'll say a positive thing. I also learned that I had it in me to do this. Like, I never thought I could do something like this, So I'm proud of myself for what I've done, and also like so ready to watch the organization evolve into the direction that you're bringing it into. Like, honestly, it's amazing. I'm just sitting back and loving it. Frankly, it's fantastic.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, I'm really excited about where it's going, and it's so funny. I remember I haven't even told you this, I don't think, but last year I was talking to my husband, and I had been on the board. For people that don't know, I had been on the board for TNE. I joke, I moved my way up in TNE. I started as a podcast guest, then I was a moderator, then I was on the board. Now I'm taking over the whole thing. But last year, so I always reflect, and I look at like the things that I put like on my vision board or whatever. And one of the things that John reminded me of, and that I also saw, was that I was like, ask Tim to be more part of TNE. I had written that down. And this was last year. And it was also because you had expressed not wanting to be executive director. I didn't think that this is what I would be doing. I didn't know what it would look like, but I did like have it on my vision board for 2025 to just like have a conversation with you about what it could look like if I helped out more and if I was more involved. So here I am.
I look, you said something very important to me a couple of weeks ago. You were like, sometimes in church world, when change happens, people think something bad happened behind the scenes. But honestly, like, organizations grow and evolve all the time. And that's the honest truth, right? I told the board over a year ago, like, guys, we got to figure out a plan. Like, I can't do both. I'm not doing one well at all. And so when I found out through Rebecca, our board president, that you were interested, I was like, oh, like, when can you start? Because frankly, out of all the people that I knew, and this is I'm not lying, I'm not exaggerating this, like, I thought about you all the time, but I just figured like you were, I mean, look, you're a creative, you direct your own movies, you have your own production house. I'm like, there's no way Melinda has energy or time or desire to to lead TNE into a direction that it needs to go in. And the fact that you have, and just seeing all the new offerings, the vision for 2026, the cohesiveness, the new shows that we launched, right? Like, that's you. And I love that, because I get to do what I love and what I think I'm better at, and you get to do your thing, and it works. It's great.
Yeah. I love leading, I love directing, and this has been a really rewarding experience because I have been able to utilize all of my skills, all of with the filmmaking and the performing and the talking and all this stuff. So it's great. I think that this is a really good dynamic because again, you get to do what you really love and what you're passionate about, and I get to bring my skills and also my background because our backgrounds are different, which I think is really, really important in terms of faith. You know, you come from a super fundamentalist conservative Christian background, and I always grew up in a Black liberated theology space that was super involved in justice and progressive Christian and very affirming and all of that. So the combination of the two, I think T&E has something that is very unique and is going to be able to make a lot of change, especially given the time that we're in right now. So
yeah. Can I just say briefly, and then we can move on. I agree. That's probably like the secret weapon here, right? Is that I had this experience. You were never taught that you're going to burn in hell forever if you don't pray a prayer. That's amazing. Like, wow, what is that like? Right? But like the founding of TNE had to happen the way it happened. Right. And now I think the evolution of TNE needs to happen the way it's happening because I'm limited in that better path. I'm discovering the better path by learning from people like you or Tamis or Billy Horde or whoever else. Right. And so I think with your background of like, I don't have church trauma. Like I'm not scared of the rapture. No, like there's obviously better paths. I can show you. It's like, great. Let's bring the organization in that direction. My question for you, and I want an honest answer, is what has been your biggest surprise since taking over executive director of TNE?
I'm going to be really honest. I'm being really honest. And I've said this to you before, but I was surprised at how much you did without really having a plan. I was like, how did he do this? I love you. God, honest truth, I love you. But you had no organization, no like outlines, no structure, no nothing. I was like, wow, he was really just kind of flying by the seat of his pants, and he made all of this happen. This is wild. It's wild. So that's the biggest thing that I just can't. And I said it's like coming into somebody's house and trying to organize it, but like you don't really know even where to put anything. So it's been a thing. It's been
a thing. If you saw my desk, it would make a lot of sense.
This
shot is staged.
It's been a thing. But I really am impressed with what you were able to do. Essentially by yourself. And I know you didn't expect it to grow the way that it did, but I am a firm believer that things of this caliber and this type of positivity and community are meant to happen for a reason. And I think it evolved in a way that it was needed to, the time that it needed to. There's never been a better time for an organization like TNE. So I'm super excited to see where it goes and how much we can grow. But we couldn't reflect, of course, on the past 5 years without talking about what's coming up and also without showing you the impact that TNE has made and how you, our community, have fit into that.
So here is our 2025 impact reel for TNE showing how much we've grown, what we've created, and why community matters so much. And again, thank you to all of our donors who make all of what you're about to watch possible. Check it out.
Yes.
And Frederick Douglass, when he had to leave the United States.
Then, freshman year of college, I founded the Turning Point chapter at Texas A&M University.
I remember the dude didn't even take my handcuffs off in the car. It's a regular civilian car. He put me back there. His seat's all the way back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our brand new show, Advocacy Hour. My name is Melinda Hale, and I'm the Executive Director of the New Evangelicals.
And I'm Rebecca Thomas, Board President of the New Evangelicals.
You got it going. Hello, friends. Welcome. First ever official live stream broadcast of the Tim and April Show.
Hey everyone, Melinda Hale here, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to be stepping into the role of Executive Director at the New Evangelicals. Oh, we love to see it. We love to see it. Shout out to Alden Heckel, who also helped Tim put that together. He's one of our team members at TNE. Thank you so much.
He's great.
Again, feel free to give whatever you can tonight to help us reach our goals so we can keep expanding all of those resources and all of these community spaces for you guys. We really do want to be the better path forward. So everything you saw in that video, we are expanding next year, and we're excited to have you be a part of it. Next, lending their voice to the TNE platform is a singer-songwriter, recording artist, actor, producer. Everybody's a multi-hyphenate these days. I love it.
Must be
They're
nice.
best known. We'll work on your hyphens. We'll work on your hyphens, Tim. They are best known for their critically acclaimed portrayal of Eddie Kendricks in the Emmy Award-winning miniseries The Temptations on NBC. On Broadway, he's been seen in The Lion King, Hairspray, and on TV, he's been featured on The Voice, American Idol, and The Ellen DeGeneres Show. And he's currently touring with his show, The Soul of Broadway. Here singing Overcome from his latest studio album, Open, is Teron Brooks.
Yeah, here we go.
Hi, we're nearing the end of 2025, and I know some of us have had a long, hard year. But I want to assure you there's always hope. There's always light. I want to encourage you today that you are an overcomer, and you will overcome all the things that are happening now, happened in your past. And I just want to sing this song to let you know that you will overcome. You have overcome, and you are an overcomer. I admit I didn't always feel it. My faith was there, couldn't always feel it. My voice would speak, wouldn't always hear it, but you were there. There were lonely nights I stayed up restless. Didn't want to fight, I felt so helpless. But there was a voice, a love so reckless, proved you were there. And I've overcome. It's unbelievable just what you've done. Been a long journey, now I can see the sun. The odds were stacked, you brought me back, and I've overcome. Felt like forever, unsure I'd make it. I held a glimpse, but I didn't know when. Then it turned around and something amazing happened. Proved you were there. And I've overcome. It's unbelievable just what you've done. Been a long journey, now I can see the sun. The odds were stacked, you brought me back. Never known a love like yours. Never shown such faithfulness. The strength I found to make it through, I owe it all to you. I owe it all to you. I've overcome. It's unbelievable just what you've done. Been a long journey, now I can see the sun. The odds were stacked, you brought me back. The odds were stacked, but you brought me back. The odds were stacked. But I've overcome.
Wow. Woo. Let's watch that one more time.
Love it.
Beautiful. Hey, friends, I see a lot of you out there giving super chats. For those who don't know, super chats are ways to support your favorite creators right through YouTube directly. We got a bunch of them, and let me just say first off, thank you so much. It means the world. I will also let you know, this is some insider baseball. YouTube takes 30% of all super chats. So the most effective way to support the organization is to go to our website. It's super easy, thenewevangelicals.com/support. If you're watching on your phone, it will go to picture-in-picture, so you can still watch the stream live while you donate. It takes Apple Pay. That's the most effective way, and because we're a nonprofit, you'll get a receipt at the end of the year going through that channel, so that way it's a tax write-off whatever you decide to donate. So again, thank you to everyone who's super chatting. It means the world. It certainly helps, but the most effective way to help us and support is to go to our website, thenewevangelicals.com/support. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you for that. Now, one of the things with TNE that we are aiming to do is not just call out the bad, which I know we all love to do, but we want to counter it with something good. When Jesus flipped tables, he made it clear that love sometimes looks like disruption. He showed us that protecting the vulnerable matters more than just preserving comfort. And TNE is not only committed to flipping tables, but we also want to empower people to find hope and be the example of what a better path forward looks like. And this year, I don't know about y'all, but this year has been filled with entirely too many flip the table moments for my liking.
No, for sure. One of the moments I think I want to highlight that it really personally impacted me because it took place in a town 20 minutes from me that I visit frequently. In the beginning of the year, ICE raided a place called Jersey Kebab. It's a kebab shop owned by the Eminent family, and they arrested the mother and put her into a detention center for absolutely no reason, like zero reason why. And we ended up covering the story on Instagram. The video that we produced went viral, it did like 5 or 6 million views, which was great. And I became quite friendly with the son, Muhammad, who helps run the family shop. And so what we did is we actually brought a camera crew to the restaurant and we filmed a 2-hour-long conversation letting Muhammad tell his whole story, how his family's been waiting in queue from the U.S. government and that their green card's currently just in process still, despite doing everything right. And so that was, for me, I mean, it was personal for sure, but I think it's a great example of like the kind of ways that we want to not just, like you said earlier, and I'm good at calling out the bad. I'm not always good at giving the solution, right? But being able to amplify Muhammad's story, I still talk to him to this day. We keep in touch. He always gives me a ton of free food. He's amazing. Being able to amplify his story really meant a lot to me. I think was a great way to kind of combat what we're seeing happening to our immigrant neighbors right now in America, under this administration.
Yes, that is a very good example. And I loved that story. It was really, really powerful. And I also don't even think you intended for it to necessarily go viral. You just were like, hey, this is happening. Like, this is a real impact story. So I'm so glad that you were able to spotlight. It was really, really great. And I love the interview. Now, another thing that happened this year that we sprung into action because we were flipping tables over it was when SNAP benefits were cut, when the government shut down. And there were many families that went without groceries, were not able to provide for their families. So we at TNE created a mutual aid fund, and we were able to provide $100 grocery gift cards to about 65 or 70 families in need. And the mutual aid fund is something that we're going to be continuing next year. We have no idea what's going to happen with healthcare. We have no idea what's going to happen with additional benefits like SNAP or anything like that. So we want to be in a position to be able to help other people the way that we did with this mutual aid fund. So if you did donate to the mutual aid fund, thank you so much. You continue to donate to TNE, and we will make sure that we are able to help people in need and show up in the same way that Jesus would, because that is what is important. So Those are my flip the table moments. I want to see in the chat, if you had a flip the table moment this year, there's no shortage of them.
Truly.
let's just be honest. There's no shortage. But those are just a couple of ways. We could be here all night. That could be the rest of the live stream. Let's just go through all the flip table moments for the
Someone
year.
in the chat did suggest maybe for 2026 a 24-hour stream. And we've talked about this. I have an idea for it.
We have talked about this. Yes, but your idea, Tim, your idea for it, his idea is to watch bad Christian movies. which is kind of funny. It is kind
It's
of funny.
hilarious,
We'll talk
right?
about it.
Okay.
A 24-hour live stream, though. Oh my gosh, that
I'll
would
do
require
it.
ordering
I'll do
Taco
it.
Bell.
Yes.
That would require your Taco
You're
Bell.
speaking my language, Melinda. We're in
I know.
business.
I know. We'll talk about it for next time. But
Sounds
again,
good.
let us know in the chat what your flip the tables moment are, because we'd love to hear about them. Now, as we mentioned before, we expanded all of our leadership this year, and of course, we expanded our board of the directors. But what would a board of directors be without its fearless leaders? So, here to talk a little bit about what is in store for TNE next year is our lovely board president and my co-host for Advocacy Hour, Miss Rebecca Thomas,
who is currently not on camera, although she is here. So, Rebecca, can you hear us? She's gone. She was here.
No, she was like,
here.
I have a minute. She's like, I have a minute. Well, we'll wait for Rebecca to show up. She's going to be so embarrassed. Oh, no.
Yeah, here she is. Hold on. I got her. Let me see if I can get this going. There we go.
Yay! There you are.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
Oh my gosh. Hello.
How are you?
How much fun are you guys having? I'm
We're
doing
having a
great.
blast.
Just watching you guys, and oh my gosh, the music has been so incredible.
Yeah.
Music, it's my heart. So I had to have performances. Had to have them.
Yeah, good call.
Of course, yes. Hopefully,
So talk to us a little bit
Wi-Fi is
about.
Okay, I just moved, so you guys,
you're all
I
right.
am like literally coming from moving all day yesterday and today. So, but I'm here, and
You're
that is
fine.
so
You're
amazing.
fine.
Happy to be with you guys.
You're fine. So talk to us a little bit about what's coming up in 2026 for TNE.
Yeah, we have so many things in that video that you guys just showed just a little bit ago. I was watching it and just like, oh my gosh, these things are coming up, and we've done so many things this year, and that's so exciting to be part of that. Seeing the book club coming up again, and I know this fall has been a great experience for everyone in book club. A lot of the resources that we have available with the Spirit Brunch and a lot of the conversations within TNE Connect. And TNE Connect was such a labor of love, just getting that going, and to see it so successful this year has been just, I have to say, you're nervous starting to put something out that's new, but people have embraced it, and it's just been awesome. So I know we will be offering so many more things within TNE Connect this year. TNE Action is in the Connect, and also our Advocacy Hour. Melinda, just, we got started this fall, and we have so many things coming up this year, having 2 episodes a month. So super excited for that. And then, of course, Substack, we're really getting started with a lot of bigger things, I think, with Substack in 2026 as well. So really exciting to see what we have ahead of us this year. It's really exciting.
What are you looking forward to the most, specifically as the president of the board?
I think one of the things that I have really valued being part of TNE in the first place is the relationships, right? We are connected with so many people, like the 3 of us, we talk all the time, and that is so meaningful to me. But also the connections that we have outside of that. So going to Theology Beer Camp, for example, and Ember Gathering in the end of February, and some of these other events that have, gained momentum, really seeing this community grow. And it grows in all of these different pockets in different ways, and everybody kind of finds their own path. And I think that's what I love about it so much, is that there isn't, I guess what I grew up with, like there's this one way to live your life. And what TNE does so well is it gives possibilities to people so that they can figure out, like, they really are the, choose your own adventure. And they can do that with these resources that we have. So that's what I love about TNE so much, and being involved in it and seeing people, find new ways of using their voice. I know I certainly have had a year of having to figure that out myself, and being part of an organization that helps people do that is just, means the world to me.
And I also want to point out that I wasn't the only one that infiltrated TNE. You also started as a podcast scheduler, and you're now the president of the board. So, Tim, we've been coming for you this whole
Just
time.
working your way up the ladder. The massive TNE corporate ladder that I organized from the beginning, as we talked about earlier.
It was easier to infiltrate because it wasn't organized.
Can I say, though, in all seriousness, I think that is what I love about the organization, is that so many people, even folks who are on the board, like, they found TNE organically and, like, want to be a part of everything. And so like, that's why it's so great, Rebecca, that you're the board president, because you understand like where TNE came from, where it wants to head. Same thing with Melinda, with so many, I mean, I think about even Tamise or, Deidre, so many other people that we have on the board, they found out organically through the work that we're all doing. And I love that because sometimes you bring people in who might not fully get like the roots of the organization, some of like its core values. And it just makes me really excited for the future, frankly. I'm pumped.
Yes, me too. Me too.
So true. Yeah. I love that about TNE. And actually, having come in, like Melinda said, starting out as the scheduler, it was literally like an Instagram story that you posted. I need help scheduling. It's like, I could do that.
Yep.
And then we just figured out what other ways to get plugged in. And so I think that's what's so great too, is even if not within TNE, there are so many pieces and groups to plug into, and we're really connected to all of that, this like ecosystem, I guess, where we have all these people that do all these very, very different things in this beautiful way. So I love that.
Absolutely. Well, Rebecca, do you want to introduce our next guest?
Yes. So first of all, I just want to, as the board president, want to say, number one, congratulations to our creator cohort. I'm super, super excited about that. And I didn't mention it when I was saying about 2026, but that's a huge, huge thing for us. And I want to say thank you to all of our donors. The donations that come in are so helpful. We cannot do this work without the support of the people that, also benefit from TNE. I have benefited so much, and I'm so grateful to be able to give in this way, but there are so many ways to be able to support TNE, and financially is one of the biggest ones. So I want to just say that. Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of TNE. If you're in TNE Connect, thank you for being part of that. Again, such a labor of love, and we appreciate you being part of it. So I'm going to introduce our next guest, which, fun fact, he and I are birthday twins. So that's a really fun thing. Our birthdays are both January 7th. So he is a public theologian, a speaker, the author of the USA Today bestseller, Hellbent, the son of a Baptist preacher, and an alum of the fundamentalist Bob Jones University. I feel like we should have made this like a trivia moment. Who is he?
Like the Guess Who, or like, guess that Pokemon, one of those.
Exactly. He spent 8 years as an evangelical pastor before deconstructing his faith to find a more inclusive spirituality. He now speaks about following Jesus without fear of hell on his popular Instagram account and his Substack, Beloved. And I have to say, I've met him in real life. He is the real deal. So I'm going to welcome Brian Recker.
Here we go.
What's up, party people? My name is Brian Recker. You may know me from my posts on Instagram or my book, Hellbent, How the Fear of Hell Holds Christians Back from a Spirituality of Love, which came out earlier this year. I first ran into the New Evangelicals like many of you did, scrolling on Instagram, seeing Tim's face pop up, giving a hot take that I deeply related with due to my own experiences of disillusionment within evangelicalism and longing for something better. I had the opportunity to do a podcast with Tim pretty early on when I started posting and sharing about my own journey out of evangelicalism. Long story short, I used to be an evangelical pastor. I led within that world for 8.5 years before it stopped working for me. A lot of that had to do with just the cognitive dissonance that I was experiencing, watching so many people that I loved, admired, respected even, follow along with a race-baiting, xenophobic, demagogue, fascist, really, and watching so many people in my church not only support but celebrate the Trump presidency and buy into all kinds of conspiracy theories around it was really disorienting for me at the time. I, at one point, passionately believed in evangelicalism, like maybe many of you did, and losing that hope in that movement and having to separate myself from not only my institution in particular, but really the movement in general, caused me to lose a lot of relationships. And I think many of us agree that one of the main difficulties in deconstruction is a loss of belonging. Deconstruction is so much more than just changing a few beliefs on the surface of our faith. There are major changes at the core of our identity, and a lot of that has to do with our web of relationships and the people that we look up to, but also that we've counted on. I mean, these are people who helped me move, who showed up for me when I had twins, who brought us meals. And those people, it was a really kind of a mind fuck to get to that place of recognizing that those people that I had walked through life with were going to view me as a backslider, as an unbeliever, as somebody who was going to be the subject of prayer requests, right? They needed to now pray for me. And that was really hard. And many of you walked that same road. And I think what we found with the New Evangelicals and why this work matters so much is that we found each other, and we found that we weren't alone in this, and that although we lost incredible amounts of belonging in what we came out of, there is a deeper level of belonging that comes from being able to speak your truth, be your authentic self, stand for what you believe in without compromising yourself or abandoning yourself, and still from that place of integrity and authenticity to still find your people, to find people who say, me too, and I resonate with who you are now. So many of the people that we walked with in life before, they knew us then, but they couldn't cope with who we were becoming. They couldn't hang with us through our evolution. And the New Evangelicals and the community provided there is so important for those of us who are finding one another and finding people who are saying, I love who you're becoming. It's actually exciting to me. And so I hope that we continue to find one another. And I know New Evangelicals is so much more than just community. There's all kinds of resources that can be provided. And I think the sky's the limit. We need more in this space. And so that's why I think this work matters, because this space matters. And so many of us finding each other matters. And we need to be resourced. We need help. And so I do hope that you will put your resources, if you have available resources, to give to the New Evangelicals. This is an important work, and I know it's richly helped me, blessed me, to use a Christianese word there, and I hope that it has enriched you too. All right, guys, I appreciate all of you. Happy holidays.
That was nice.
Thank you, Brian. That was a beautiful message. Keep those donations coming in, everyone. We are so grateful for whatever you are able to give to help us to continue this work so that we can provide for you. Now, our last performer of the evening captured national attention as a standout contestant on The Voice as a member of Kelly Clarkson's team, and she later delivered a show-stopping performance on Dancing with the Stars during Wicked Night. She's toured with Faith Evans, Kelly Price, Nick West, Kenny Lattimore, Angie Stone, and the legendary Natalie Cole. Here singing some holiday classics is Amber Sawyer.
Here we go.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night divine. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine. 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 Oh, night divine
Melinda, how do you know these people? Like, I'm just a drummer.
I live in LA.
Oh my, I hit things with sticks. Wow.
Amber's incredible. Amber's a very dear friend. She sings for my company, but she's just a phenomenal vocalist. Please follow her. Download her music. All of these performers tonight have been incredible. I can't wait to bring more people on next time we do this.
Oh, look, we are getting down to the end of the night, and we have another guest coming up, someone that I really have enjoyed becoming friends with over the years. He's a best-selling author, storyteller, and speaker who helps people reconnect with God, themselves, and one another. Through his books, Reconnected, How to Human, Kill the Spider, and Moment Maker, he equips communities to build bridges instead of walls with radical love rooted in Scripture, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Please give it up for Carlos Whitaker. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
I've only met you before, Tim, of course. I have a new friend in Miss Hale here.
Oh, yes.
Hello. Nice to meet you. It says you're Rebecca Thomas, but there we go.
I fixed it. Fixed.
Oh, good to meet you, Carlos. I've heard only great things about you from Tim. So thank you so much for being here and helping us out tonight.
You're welcome. I'm so glad to be here. This is fun.
Oh, it's been great. Melinda put a lot of effort. This is the first time I have a run of show for a live, and honestly, it's nice. It is nice. Like, I know where I'm going. I'm not making things up. It's fantastic. But
I kept texting him, stick to the script. Like, stick to the script.
I will stick to the script. Oh, my goodness. Well, Carlos, thank you really for joining in on the live. I really am curious for you. You know, you have such a unique journey. You've been on the podcast before. People can check it out if they want. I've been on your podcast, so we don't have to rehash the full thing. But you've really had such an evolution over the years with like your faith journey and also merging it with your creativity. Can you just speak on that, like kind of your faith journey and how that's evolved for you over the years?
Yeah, you know, I think that for me, you know, I was raised Southern Baptist. My dad, son of a preacher. You know, my dad was, my mom and dad are both first generation immigrants into this country. So my dad's from Colón, Panama. My mom's from Monterrey, Mexico. And my dad came to America in 1960 as a black man in 1960 with $20 cash and a shoe shine kit. So you got like 3 strikes against you right away. He's a black man that doesn't speak English in 1960. And he comes here, but you know, I actually have never told you this part of the story, Tim. Like, my dad, you know, he got saved, quote unquote, in like missionaries from America had gone to Panama and had done like vacation Bible school at his church when he was little, right? And so my dad, you know, found out about Jesus through these white missionaries that had come to his black community. And when he came to America, he kind of saw that as like, that's kind of the pinnacle of what I'm going for here, right? So like, even in his work, even in his church work, you know, joining the Southern Baptist Convention, being the pastor of First Bilingual Baptist Church, it was very, even in California, it was the church and the subculture was very Southern Baptist. So even when I grew up in California, the Southern Baptist part of the Baptist was still there. And so, you know, I was raised in that. I enjoyed it. I loved youth group. I loved, you know, I was Jesus and Carmen the Champion skit for any of you Gen Xers that grew up in the church where, you know, we you know, Michael W. Smith, the whole thing, man, like it was part of like who I was entrenched. And, you know, I would say that probably the last, you know, 10 years of my journey, I think God has gotten bigger, you know, and I think for a lot of people that makes people a little uncomfortable. As, you know, I think I've got some friends that would say, you know, they use the word deconstructing. I've never used that word. But I think for me, though, the more I read scripture, the more I learn about God, he actually is getting bigger to me than smaller, if that makes sense. And I spent some time with some Benedictine monks in the high desert of Southern California. I spent 2 weeks screen free with them. And man, I read.
Did you survive?
I did. I did. I actually I did 2 months screen free. I did half the time with the monks, half the time with the Amish. But when I was with the monks, man, like I had probably 3 or 4 days there where my faith, I didn't have podcasts I could listen to get the answers. I literally just had the Bible and these monks. And man, it was a really cool journey of allowing God to get way bigger than he'd ever been for me. And so, I think for some people that freaks them out. But I think for me, it's been really good. And so, I think I'm in a pretty steady place with knowing that I know less about maybe the everything about God than maybe I used to think I knew.
Yeah.
But also I feel like I know God, if that makes sense. It's like
it does.
actually when I've does this make sense, Melinda? Like when I've let go
Yeah.
of a little bit of it, I'm just like, whoa, wait a second, like this is new, this is awesome. I've never experienced this side of who you are. And so I think saying it out loud right now, even for me, is like, oh wow, that's actually kind of cool where you're at.
Yeah.
So,
Have you found it kind of freeing as well? Just to be like, you know what? Like, why am I trying to solve something that's like unsolvable? Like this idea of, it's almost like letting go of certainty, which as someone who grew up in a world that claimed they had it, it was scary in the beginning. But since I've kind of just realized that the Christian tradition is so massive, so many rooms, so many competing thoughts, so much beauty, some ugly parts of it too. I'm like, why am I trying to do that when the ask of Jesus is so simple? Love God with everything and love your neighbor as yourself. Like I can do those two things, those things are clear. Maybe who God is or what God is like isn't so clear, but we have these teachings from Jesus that we can follow.
Well, and
absolutely.
And I think what I try to teach people is just that. It's like, I'm not going to be able to convince anyone. There's all these like Instagram theologians now, and there's like, that are trying to like convince you of things. And I'm like, you're not going to convince anyone with your theology on Instagram. The theology you're going to convince me with is how you're treating, the people that are right in front of you. And like,
Amen.
That's kind of what it looks like. And so for me, that's how that's how I simplify it. It's what I try to do, every single day. Here's a great example, last week. So one of the things I like to do on my social media is I'll raise money for people in need. And last week on my socials, we raised like $65,000 to give away in Nashville to people in need. And the difference was this time when I raised that money, I didn't tell my followers who I was raising it for. So a lot of times it's like, this is a person in need, so a bunch of money comes in. I said, you know what, just trust me, I'm going to give the money away to people in need. Well, who I found was, there was one couple that was like, that your typical Southern Christian evangelical couple, right? Like that's who they were. I had another family. They were a Muslim refugee family that had just come into America. I had another family that were two moms trying to adopt some foster kids into their family. But here's the thing. I didn't tell anybody those stories because I wanted people to give and to be the hands and feet of Jesus without making a decision, well, I'm going to give to that or I'm not going to give to that. And now as I'm beginning to expand and tell these stories, people are like, huh, you know what? I think my call is just to give. That's just what I'm supposed to do. So again, I'm trying to teach people in small ways the bigness of God and how we can boil the gospel down into simply being his hands and feet and what that looks like.
Yes. And those stories matter. That's what's going to get to people's hearts. So I love that you are doing that. One of the things we talked about earlier on the stream was how we had so many flip the table moments this year. So I'm curious if you had a flip the table moment for yourself this year.
Wow. No, that's good. Gosh, I think the tables that I've flipped have really been, and this is going to sound, I don't know, as I'm saying it, have been like in my own life, honestly. Like I've looked back at like maybe ways that I have believed and been like, no, like I've got to flip these tables, like even in the systems that I have fallen into when it comes to healing per se, or whatever it may look like in my life. Like I have had to this year, I've been in intensives in therapy. I've been like leaning. Tim knows a little bit about that. We've talked about some of that stuff, but I've like literally had to maybe flip the tables on, maybe it's not just going to be You come down to the altar, you get prayed for, and you're never going to struggle with that again. Now, listen, that may happen for some people. It didn't happen for me. Where it had to happen for me was in EMDR therapy, where I was holding paddles in my hand and my brain's going back and forth. And I've got somebody lovingly counseling me through memories that I've had to, that had been repressed. Well, I think I had to flip the table when it came to, it for some people, it may be that. But we can't make blanket sweeping statements anymore as the church saying that this is the way that you're going to find freedom. That may be part of the way, but I think what I would love to do is continue to flip some of those tables to where we don't say therapy is a bad thing anymore, in churches and things like that.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I'm with you so much. Thank God for therapy. I'm a huge fan. My last question, Carlos, just briefly, I wanted to know, can you speak about the importance of movements? I feel like right now we need more organizations, movements like the work of TNE to just help people find a better path forward in faith in general. I think a lot of folks, and you and I talk about this all the time, right, are looking for, it's not a crisis of faith, it's a crisis of theology, right? What do I believe about God and the Bible and Jesus? So I just want kind of your thoughts about the importance of movements going into 2026.
Man, listen, last night, I was on a stage in front of 10,000 college students in Phoenix, Arizona at the Urbana conference.
Yeah, I was just, were you at Urbana?
Yeah, and this is like I'm on stage last night speaking, and the first thing I told them, I wonder if I pull up my notes, I can't remember verbatim, but I said, your theology is being shaped right now. Like as you're sitting, like I need you to feel the energy that's happening in this room, like all the little goosebumps that you're getting, all the things that like there's formation, spiritual formation happening in this room. And what I felt from these students is, and it was actually like such a breath. It was like an inhaler to an asthmatic, because I'm like, the speaker before me, he's the head of theology at, I can't remember what the seminary is in Pasadena, but he's a Korean man, and he got up there and was just talking about like if our theology isn't to be the hands and feet of Jesus to a world that's in desperate need, and these college students are cheering and they're standing up, and I'm like, wait a second, this is not what I've been seeing on the news as far as like movements of college students. And I just think to myself, when I got off that stage, I thought, what TNA is doing, what Tim is doing, what the work that you're doing, it's so important to start a movement as opposed to just giving people more stuff to think about. Like what I saw last night was a movement, and I even thought to myself, I wonder if TNE can like start having like gatherings, because those are the things where people start. I mean, you see it in maybe some unhealthy ways in nationalism and things that are happening in the church right now. Why not have more of what happened with just those college students? But what if we bring it to the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60-year-olds, people that are passionate about loving their neighbor? And I think that's something that TNE does well. And I think it's something that you guys can spark a movement that I think is necessary.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it means the world to hear that coming from you, Carlos. I've enjoyed our friendship. I've enjoyed your support of the organization. And I'm sure we're going to talk more in 2026. Thank you so much for spending time with us. I really appreciate it. And we will talk again soon, my friend.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you. Good to meet you, Carlos.
Can I just say, Carlos asked the question, why don't we do in-person events? Or like, why can't we? And I'm going to be just so transparent. The honest answer to all these questions is funding. Like, I don't think people understand that, as a nonprofit, we don't sell things. We're not a business, right? We really rely on people's support to do what we do. That's why we're doing this fundraiser. That's why we do a big push end of the year. It's just brass tacks. And some people who grew up in church world like I did, might think that this feels kind of churchy. Oh no, I was asked to tithe. That's not what this is. We are a nonprofit organization. We are not a church. Our financial transparency is on our website. All of the money that you donate to this organization goes to helping people find a better path forward in our faith. And frankly, someone said this in the chat earlier, the sky is the limit with the right funding. And the good news is that many hands make light work. We don't need everyone to give $1,000. We need an army of people to give $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month. That's how this work happens, because as you know, Melinda, right? You budget off of what you have coming in monthly as a nonprofit organization.
Right.
So
Right.
I would just really
Right.
encourage people out there who are watching this stream, maybe you're watching it after we went live, if you would consider becoming a donor, it would just mean the world because it fuels the movement. It is literally the gasoline in the car to get this work done. And if I could just be really honest with everyone, we have a really important year coming up. We've all seen the news. We know what is animating what's happening, and we need organizations like the New Evangelicals, especially with the way that you're evolving it, to be well funded to do the work that needs to happen for the sake of our neighbors. So you can go to thenewevangelicals.com/support. All donations are tax deductible. It's super easy to do. Please consider giving. I really appreciate it. I know Melinda does too, and so does the whole team, for your generosity. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And even if you aren't able to give today, we do have other ways that you can support us. You can get some of our merch. I'm wearing one of our exclusive shirts that actually is going to be off of the merch store tomorrow. It says, "Don't sit at tables that Jesus would have flipped." So you can go to our merch store on our website as well. Pick up one of these shirts. We have other merch as well. If you're not able to give, that's just another way where you can wear your values and also support us as well. Any way you're able to, we are just happy that you're here. We are happy for the community that has been built and for 5 years. And we are just getting started because, as Tim said, next year is going to be a big year with the news, with the administration, but also what we are offering. A little sneak peek, some of the courses that we're going to be doing next year. We're starting in February with Black liberation theology, anti-racism in the church. In March, we're going to be doing women in the Bible. In April, we're going to be doing an interfaith, learning about different faith backgrounds. We have some incredible teachers coming in, and then we're going to be doing mental health for Christians in May as well. So that's just a little bit of a sneak peek of some of the educational courses we'll be providing. Advocacy Hour is going to be twice a month now. We have the Tim and April show. The New Evangelicals podcast is going to have a little bit of a rework. We're going to be focused on themes monthly. So there's a lot of things that are coming up and giving Tim more structure. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things coming up with TNE that if you are able to donate, you will be able to benefit from them. And so we're just really grateful that you've been here. Thank you for joining us tonight. This was really fun. I hope we get to do this again without all of the technical difficulties.
You know what though?
But we
Pat
made
yourself
it.
on the back. We did it. People don't know what happened before we went live, but we did it.
Woo! I was praying to Jesus and all 12 disciples, y'all. You have no idea. Okay. So,
amen. I was with you in the spirit.
We really, oh my gosh. But truly, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed all of their guests and all of the messages. Follow all of those musicians, all of the speakers. It is just, it's really a rewarding experience to be a part of this organization. And thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you, friends. Listen, have a great, safe new year. We will see you in 2026. Remember, thenewevangelicals.com/support. Your funding makes everything we do possible, like Melinda said, and we can use all the help that we can get as we walk into 2026 to expose Christian nationalism and give you a better path forward in your faith. So that's all I got for now. Great. We did it.
Yes. Thanks for flipping tables and choosing hope. Happy New Year, everyone.
See ya.